To Archangel Revelations and Prophecies 444. I'm Gat, your host. A viewer wanted to have their birth natal chart fully read, fully all inclusive, comprehensive, and that's what we're about to do. Now, reminding everybody to make sure to check staying up with my channels. I really got two of them. Uh, the Archangel channel is more about, I guess you could say, family relationships, stuff like that, twin flames. The other one's just more metaphysical, more prophetic, more hard hitting. Um, but a lot's going on. A lot of the stuff in the universe is going on because the universe is more and more beginning to address the families, the children, the females. You can hear it. Like I don't know what you all listen to, but I listen to a lot of stuff, especially now with the what happened with the election, all that. It kind of changed things as far as a lot of issues are coming up now. Most of them are family life oriented, so that's where the universe is heading. So that's where it's going on. Like the dumbed down bubblegum astrology, not really gonna be working. I mean, it'll still have a bunch of groupies and it'll still have like a lot of people groupie, a lot of like revenue because people it's like drugs. It's the same thing. It's like drugs is bubblegum because drugs make you feel like I'm high, but you ain't high. You're standing in the same location. It's just you're just fucking your mind up with drugs. You're fucking your mind and emotions up with drugs. So that's bubblegum astrology, like bubblegum astrology, bubblegum, and it's still astrology because they're trying to get high, and that's what above, as above, so below. And then when they get high, they start prophesying. So it's the same thing. So that's where the universe is going. It's about to start smacking a few things, exposing a few things. That's why you see a lot of people going to jail, getting exposed and stuff. So that's where we're at. So I want to make sure people understood that. So right now, the first thing I notice when I look at her chart, I can already tell you it's going to be relationship issues with that 29, even possibly business partnership issues and stuff like that. Now, I think I did her chart before, but she only wanted the twin flame at that time. This time we're doing a whole chart. Yep. So her first house is Scorpio. So you could already tell her 12th house relationship, but 12th house by endings. We'll talk more about that when we get there. But you can already tell a large percentage of her chart is going to be relationship, transformation, and we're going to read the 8th house right now. Now, I think she already, well, I'll just make sure I'm going to put it in there. The free report, because every new user with the natal chart especially gets a free report. So anything you really need to know about astrology, or the 12 houses, the 12 zodiac signs, the things in there, the archangels, things in there about tarot cards. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to read the Scorpio. Because remember, your 8th house, which is ruled by Scorpio and Pluto, and your 12th house is ruled by Neptune and Pisces. And I always tell people, try to take notes, because what happens is they get hit with a lot of information. And when you get hit with that much information, there's no way you're going to retain all that information. But you have notes and things like that. And what I try to do is make it as comprehensive as possible. So even years from now, if you're still using it, because a lot of people don't stay with this. Because like I said, it's hard because we're fleshly and we're into the five senses. But when you get into astrology or spirituality, even people that are serious about, like, say, Christianity and stuff like that, that's spirit, and it's hard. Like the Bible says, the flesh and the spirit are going against each other. The flesh wants to do it right now. They want to feel it, taste it, touch it, see it, hear it, smell it, whatever the five senses are. But spirit is it transcends all of that. It's like the Karate movie or whatever, where the guy is blinded or puts on a blindfold, but he's still able to function even without those five senses, because now he's tapped into the metaphysical world, the spirit. So again, we're gonna go right into the 8th house, which is ruled by Scorpio, and Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. Therefore, Pluto and Scorpio rule the 8th house. It's in your Bible in Revelation chapter 9. It's called the bottomless pit. But anytime the Bible says the well, like the woman at the well, John chapter 4 and other locations, that's also the 8th house of the zodiac. And even when they say the sea, 8th house of the zodiac, even when they're talking about the womb, John chapter 3, the woman's womb, the womb is the bottomless pit. The 8th house of the zodiac. That's why if you go to Revelation 9, it even tells you the 8th house of the zodiac. Then they say Scorpion. Well, that's Scorpio. The Bible is definitely an astrological book, but the Messiah told you in Matthew 13, it says mysteries. Mysteries of the kingdom. This is metaphysics, esoteric, mysticism. It's all there. That's why when you study religion, even if you look at the Catholic faith, it's so much to the Catholic faith. It's not just one thing. You could never think the Catholic faith is just one thing. It's not. They're all over the place. Esoteric, mysticism, all kind, Egyptology, all time is in the Catholic Church. So this is all God energy. All of this stuff is God energy, and it just depends on how much people can take in. Even Jesus said that. He who can receive it, because everybody can't receive it. You're at different levels. But when you hear something like this and you're taking notes and you're taking it seriously, you can't help but get enlightened and wake up, because you're actually in a matrix that's designed to keep you dumbed down. They say democracy, keep you dumb, keep you unenlightened. Unenlightened. And like I try to tell people, for every heaven there's a hell, for every top there's a bottom. So you have to be waking up so that you don't end up in that bottom of that hell. Also, when you say hollow, that's what our father, that's our fat her. Witch. If I told you a witch was outside your door, you would say, what, like for Halloween or something? And that's exactly what you say. Our fat her, witch, art in heaven, hollow. Because hollow is the underworld. Hollow, that's that 8th house of the zodiac. So you see this as a person, and you have to just be careful, because all through your life it's been there, whether you were aware of it or not. But these are different worlds, different dimensions, and it's, at the end of the day, it's the underworld. And everything came out of that divine womb. That's the deep, or the sea. That's at Genesis chapter 1, at the creation. That's like when you give birth, you're coming out of water. You're coming out that divine womb. So as above, so below. As in, so is out. And it goes on and goes on and goes on. And the more you can understand this and be comfortable with it, a lot of stuff that's challenging now won't be challenging. Like people say, oh, why is my life so? Why is my life this? Why? But they don't understand the natal chart. That's why you're going to hear me keep saying it. Get it done correctly and get it done by an expert. Now, on my channel right now, you have a woman who's praising me for a reading I did for her teenage daughter. Her teenage daughter's a prodigy. Because you know how people are. They don't want you talking about the kids and all that. But that's the problem. Everybody wants to hide everything, and everybody wants to do this fake stuff. I go to church and everything, but I really don't know if I believe this stuff. Or I really don't apply the spirituality of the Messiah in my life. But I know how to do church. But that's kind of fake. So when you get hit with something where you're going to need spirituality to overcome it, you're going to fail. Because you didn't learn. That's why, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for thou art with me. See, when you're in spirit and you're with spirit's with you, when challenges come your way, you won't have that fear no more. You'll realize this is how it is in this realm, this is how it is in this world, and you will move forward. Having said all that, we start this natal chart off with Scorpio, because you can tell right now she's an 8th house, 12th house type of person. So we got to learn both of those houses. The 8th house concerns reincarnation, rebirth, twin flame, sexuality, intimacy, deeply committed relationships, inheritance, passions, crisis, transformation, death, rebirth, wills, inheritances, change of self, change of ways, financial investments, IRS, debt, taxes, the occult, psychic abilities, magic, metaphysics, jointly held things, taxes, debt, inheritance, shadows of the psyche. I know I might be repeating these, but it is what it is. Emotional intensity, obsession, stalking, codependencies, power struggles, transformation, intuition, joint finances, death, healing, esoteric information, transformation, mysteries, sex, regeneration, rebirth, death and rebirth, mysteries, hidden mysteries, esoteric, metaphysical, mystical, secret knowledge, forbidden knowledge, alternative sciences, alternative math, emotional wells, secrets of the soul, can be even dark night of the soul. And all this stuff all this stuff will unfold over a lifetime. And a lot of times you carry it in. That's why you're looking at her 12th house and you're looking at her first house. Your 12th house pretty much represents stuff that went on in the past life, karma, and all that in this life as well, past life. And the ascension is what you're ascending into. It's like you're coming out that deep into this world, the ascension. So when you're dealing with the 8th house or even the 12th house, you can be dealing with fear. But what did I just say? Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil. Because you can get mastery once you stop fearing. And no matter what you're going to, if you can remember that God is always with you and take whatever steps you need to take, it could help you out. But when you give into fear, say you're dealing with spirits. When you give into fear, you're giving up your power and they're going to take you over one way or another. When you don't have fear and you're moving forward, because God is with you, but God will take you through that darkness. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for thou art with me. So God will take you through. As soon as Jesus got baptized, the Holy Spirit took him to be tempted of the devil. So I just read you Psalms 23, Matthew chapter 4. You can also refer Matthew chapter 3. This is stuff we need to know. It's not just dumbed down bubblegum astrology. Now, people think that they can just stay away from it, but you can't. Because somehow you're going to get pulled into that deep. That's why I try to tell people, don't wait till it happens. Because I get a lot of that. They wait till it happens. Oh, this strange thing. Oh, something's going on. And they're terrified. And I've been telling these people, you're mistaken. You think you're on a planet where you're going to do what you want to. You're not. You're here for a reason, whether you like it or not. And what you really need to be doing is learning as above, so below. And this is why when you think about the Messiah, you think about being saved, salvation. Messiah came to save you from something. But as soon as he came on the scene, the first thing they said was his star. His star. We know where he's at because of his star. We know who he is, what he's going to do because of his star. So immediately, your natal chart. To go through life without that natal chart and not having an expert do it, this is not bubblegum astrology. It's not just supposed to make you feel happy. Or I made you feel happy because I told you have Venus in the 7th house, and now you're going to find love. Now pay me. And keep paying me, and I'll keep saying nice and happy things to make you feel good. Well, I might as well be a drug dealer then. Keep paying me, and I'll keep giving you stuff to make you feel good. Your life is still going to be fucked up because you're not dealing with anything, but you're staying high. You're in bubblegum land. How many of y'all remember Lawrence Welk? Remember the bubbles? Come on. Am I that old? How many of you guys remember Lawrence Welk? Every Sunday, the music and the bubbles? So that's what most people want to be in La La Land. Just lie to me. As long as I feel good, just lie to me. But God doesn't want that. Spirit doesn't want that. He wants you to go through everything. Because whatever God is throwing your way, you can handle it. But if you're all afraid or scared or ducking it or don't want to deal with it, you're going to be overcome because it's still going to come. So like some people try to run away from stuff for years. Eventually it's going to get you. Like if ever you seen like if you watch when Mike Tyson boxed Holmes. Now remember, Holmes was one of the greatest boxers of all times. Larry Holmes. He was knocking out young boys when he was an old man. Now, when he fought Mike Tyson, he did a lot of, so he was trying to do a lot of boxing tricks. A lot of holding, a lot of like running away, whatever he's trying to do. But Mike Tyson's team told Michael, you're letting him control the situation. You got to control the situation. Stop telling us what he's doing. You go in there and do what we know you can do. So Mike got back up in there and he stopped letting Larry get away and all that. And that's when he finally knocked him out. So whenever you're running, you're going to meet it sooner or later, especially if it's in your natal chart or in God's will for you. So when you have your natal chart and you have an honest person, an expert or whoever, telling you, then you already know it's coming. See, I was just listening to Paul Bagley, and he was applauding Kanye West. It's amazing to me how many of these people I listen to on YouTube, these different Christians, because they don't even get along, but they so far they all seem to like Kanye. But Howard Stern said that Kanye West said at Joel Osteen's church that, no people ever came up to me and witnessed to me. He said, before I became a Christian, I think Christians were scared to witness to me and tell me about Jesus because of who I was. He said, I wish they had told me then. I wish somebody had been strong enough to tell me, listen, Kanye, you need Jesus. And I'm only quoting what Kanye says and what how Paul Bagley repeated. So again, you need people that are going to tell you this is how it is. Or this is decades of experience. Because you don't want to wait until stuff starts to happen or things just start going really wrong. See, whenever you're dealing with Scorpio and the 12th house and all this, and it's still Scorpio in the 12th house because she's got Pluto in the 12th house. See, you don't want to wait till this stuff comes to get answers. You want to get the answers before so you can start to mentally prepare for it, spiritually prepare for it, emotionally prepare for it, financially prepare. You're preparing for it. And then when it comes, you're like, oh, I know. But you're not even going to be all stressed out. A recent natal chart I did, they said cause and effect. And that's what this is all about. Cause and effect. Because you could approach all of this with happiness and joy, believe it or not. And that's anything. Just like if you have something in the terminal, you're trying to get a grip on it. You'll be better off approaching that happily, thanking God, praising God, asking for healing, things like that, than being negative. Because the more negative are, the more you just bring in energy. That's negative energy is going to help bring you even worse down. That's why when somebody's sinking, they try to get them to rise up. Like if somebody's trying to push your head underwater, you're trying to get your head out of the water so you can get some air. Trying to get your head up and try to breathe air. So you got to go through with your head up, confident that spirit, God is in control. And there's nothing that's here that he never thought you could handle. But you got to have faith and you got to be strong. Because if you go in without faith and you go in with all this stupid stuff they doing out here on YouTube, the bubblegum astrology, bubblegum this, grown adults don't want to grow up, then of course your family's going to be messed up. Because you weren't mature enough to deal with it. You were ducking and running and hiding and didn't want to deal with it. So that's what the 8th house does. And the 12th house is going to try to tell you to face those fears. So 8th house, compulsive, obsessive, primal entanglements. Because again, it can be highly sexual and it can be even deep, animalistic, like sexual, like extremely lustful, extremely sexual. But this is where you find your sex magic and all that stuff too. Fated events happen here. And a lot of things are going to happen that you're not going to get an answer for. Well, why did that happen? And you're not going to get an answer for it. That's all Pluto, Scorpio, 8th house. And remember, the 8th house and the 12th house are similar. So you got you got to be aware of that. That's why you got your 8th house, Pluto, the ruler of your 8th house, in your 12th house. So this could be similar. So me, I'm a little bit different. Like I'm more like Bruce Lee said, become the water. See, I'm more like that. I know how to just become the water. I'm like technical is just going to confuse you because you're going to go, hey, wait a minute, that should be going on in my 6th house. Why is this going on in my 4th house? Because it's not. This is spirit. This is energy. And this is John chapter 3. The wind lists where it wants. The spirit is going to do whatever it wants to. You got to get used to just dealing with it. So like I said, if you thought it was supposed to be a beautiful day, you get up, say, oh, wow, I got nothing to worry about. This is a beautiful day. But you're walking around the house and you can already feel that brisk breeze. But you're saying, but wait a minute. It's supposed to be a beautiful day. So some people don't want to acknowledge that brisk breeze. Now the wise person begins to say, wait a minute, it's a brisk breeze going throughout this house. Wait a minute, you know what? I'm gonna double check and I'm taking this jacket just in case. You understand? It's because they dealt with reality. But other people won't do that. They'll go, no, it's supposed to be the sun. No, the weatherman said. And they go into this fantasy, like a bubble gum. They go into this fantasy land where they don't want to deal with reality. Refuse to. And that's a sad thing to see a grown-ass adult that doesn't want to deal with reality. But it's all over the place. They actually get mad. So here you have, again, Kanye saying, I wish somebody had been strong enough to tell me reality. I probably would have became a Christian a lot earlier. And you hear that a lot. And then remember now, Paul Bagley is a pastor. And even he said it. He said it's Christian people in church that won't use the name of Jesus. He said, so how did Kanye using the name of Jesus? He's coming from a worldly background. This is the guy that knew all about oath taking and Lucifer and all that stuff. So how is he using Jesus' name and praising Jesus? And Paul Bagley said, but it's the people in church that won't even use Jesus' name. And they in church. And they Christian, they won't use his name. And if you ever been in church, you see them people standing around. You don't even know what they're doing in there. It's like they're pissed off. And he said these people won't even pray and use Jesus' name. He said, now here you have a man coming out and did a whole album. So they're really like him, Mark Taylor. I could go on with the Christians that are applauding Kanye right now. I think it's I like it. I think it's really unique. But see, I understand the esoterics and all the reason why all this is going on. And I did talk about that on my other channel. All right. Now remember, the 8th house, wherever you see Pluto and Scorpio, that's why you got a Libra right there. It's merging. It's partnership. And Libra is also about partnership. Merging, sexuality. But you got to understand, sometimes in this world, it's not always partnership the way you would like it. You say, oh, that's my partner. Sometimes it's not. It might just be somebody you got into sex with. But it never grew to anything else. It might be somebody you loan some money to or something, and now they won't pay it back. It could be that too, because this is all Scorpio energy, 12th house energy, 8th house energy, which we will talk about when we go further in the reading. So 8th house is all about merging, partnership, shared resources, other people's finances or resources. Inheritances, possessions, money. You're going to have Plutonian lessons because they won't give you the answer. You'll just go through it. The book of Job, Job chapter 1, Job chapter 2, that was Plutonian lessons. Probably a Pluto retrograde where everything is taken immediately and God, the world ain't giving you no answers. So, but again, like I said, when you get into astrology and you really learn it, you don't take the shit personal. You go on with your life. You understand? Like I got a lot of people around me. I would go crazy if I took them people seriously. You gotta just realize that's how it is and how it is. It makes my life a lot rougher and harder. But unfortunately, as long as you're alive in this body, in this life, around these type, that's what it's gonna be. Just like no disrespect, but if you're a melanated person in this country, you've seen some type of hurt, some type of been affected somewhat by racism. So the 8th house, Pluto or Scorpio, is a soul level. So your soul level journey. And throughout life, you're going to have many deaths and transformations, or many deaths and rebirths. Scorpio can also deal with healing, though. Because sometimes it's pain, but then it's also healing. In both the 8th house and the 12th house, you deal with your shadow side, shadow powers. All right, so we're still in the 8th house. But something just happened. I want to share it. Because like I said, originally we did a twin flame reading for this person. And we're in the 8th house right now. Now, like I told y'all, on my street, up the street, it's a female who looks a lot like my twin flame. I used to work with my twin flame. We started working in August of 2016. We started working together. Now, it's always communication. It's always strange things. Like I said, we're dealing with the 8th house. It's always strange stuff. But now me and this female kind of had a connection. So she's like a soulmate. And we kind of had like a connection. But that also, went away. And it's been that way now for years, two years, whatever. And I really don't get to see her. I don't see her that much and stuff. But it's a lot of stuff. Like I said, I talk about that stuff on the other channel. Because now you're getting into the deep metaphysics. And you'll know by the universe. Cause like I said, you have to understand, like with your ancestors, they had names like Moon Dance and Sun Dance, stuff like that, Eagle Feather or something like that, because these people were connected to metaphysics, to the real world. The world we're in now is very it's a matrix, and it deconnects you from who you are and your background and the truth. And then they give you fake religions and fake this, where some of that information may be based on the truth, but they've watered it down, so it's phony. And the only people that are really benefiting from it are like pastors and people that are manipulating the people, getting the money, abusing the children, and all that. And you don't really see a whole lot of power coming out of those people. Some of them you see it, but not really. But you do see a lot of perversions and pedophilia and all kind of crazy stuff. Pastors are sleeping with everybody and all kind of crazy stuff. It doesn't stop. Children get molested. It doesn't stop. Tax evasion. It doesn't stop. So you feel it though. Like, I can't explain it to y'all, but you can feel it. And it doesn't mean, like I said, I'll be honest with you, at certain times, me and my soulmate who lives up the street, we may have connected. But for the most part, even with your twin, there's so much pain you've been through. It's so much low level energy in life that you would have to get through all of that. Which, even with your twin, it's going to be difficult. Even if both of y'all know, you know, we're twins or whatever, you both accept that. That doesn't mean you're going to say, well, we're twins, we're going to work this out no matter what. Whatever we need to do to be together, we're going to be together. That some people are able to do that. Everybody's not, because you still feel a certain way. You may not want to get hurt again. You may not want to take on all this responsibility. Sometimes there's an age difference. It's a lot of things that keep twins separated. But whatever it is, you still feel it, because I felt it, I knew it. And then when I did a certain reading recently on my other channel, the moon was in Gemini, according to the real chart is a dark chart, the transit chart. Because if you have a smartphone, if you have a real smartphone that's not programmed for deception, if you take your smartphone and aim it up above, it'll tell you what constellations, it'll tell you all that. So that smartphone should be able to tell you where the moon really is and stuff like that, because it's a lot of deception in this matrix. So like I said, when she disappeared, but even the last time I saw her was sweet, because we used to see each other. I'm talking about my soulmate. Let's right up the street. So and just like where her house is, Capella always shines over her house and shit. But I've seen a lot of supernatural stuff over her house. And then one time I saw what I saw, and I went online to find out what I saw and shit. A couple of times really. And then I learned, and then what I saw actually took me back to where she's from, like her country. So that shit was weird. But like I said, the more you study this stuff, like, I love this stuff because it's the real deal. The other stuff is the lies, the politics, the fake religion, the fake everybody's lying about everything. I hate that shit. But this stuff I do, this is the real deal. And when you learn it and really believe and tap into it, you see the power. You see the same power. That's why when these devils came over here and was killing all those Native Americans, stealing the land from them, it took them forever to finally defeat them people, because that's how powerful them people were. And those people could they could eat stuff that if the other people tried to eat it, they would die because it was poison or whatever. But those people could eat it and wouldn't die and stuff. Like, the history is just amazing. So like I said, I saw that one last day I saw, me and her made eye contact like we used to. And then that day when I came in, I took a reading online, and one of the cards that came was a princess card. It's called the prince, like a card. It's a princess card, and it looked exactly like her. That shit was crazy. And then it gave me a message. Like, it gave me a message like I'm moving on or whatever. But they gave me all this advice and shit. That shit was so cool. So this is all your higher self, because your body is just flesh. But who you are and all that, that's the greatness. But that's why you live in a matrix that dumbs you down. Everything got to be dumbed down. Everything's low frequency. So anyway, so I was feeling, I didn't know if I would ever see her, but I was still feeling that energy. And like I said, and like my twin probably transmits through her as well. But me and my twin didn't have a good relationship at all, for tons and tons and tons of reasons. So when it's like that, your twin will still come in your dreams, but they're not going to come as themselves, because your emotions will not let it happen. So they got to come a different person. They'll come a different, but you'll kind of figure it out. You'll kind of figure out that was them in the dream and shit. And so like I said, I haven't seen her and didn't know if I would ever see her again or whatever, because things change, times change. And so now I'm talking about the soulmate again. So it's kind of rainy today, but astrologically speaking, a lot's going on. Even if it's going to be a triangle in the sky coming up in the next 4 days or so, 4 or 6 days. Paul Bagley was talking about it. There's a lot of stuff coming on. But when I first started waking up, it was a triangle. Same thing. It was a triangle between the moon, Venus, and Jupiter. And that's what's going on now. So anyway, I said I was going out. I was going to get the mail or whatever. And I looked. And I saw, I don't know if it was her or not, because I just saw the person walking. I said, that might be her. But I didn't know. But I was still trying to see if it was her, because I haven't seen her in a long time. And so I waited. Like, I kind of was trying to wait to see if it was her or not. And then I went to the kitchen. And then I came back to look again. And then when I looked again, I saw her. She was coming down in the car. And then she came up the street. But that was her. So, but that was meant to happen. And like I said, that's what I call a universal confirmation. But what happens, what I'm trying to tell people is, none of this stuff means you're going to hook up with that person or your twin. None of this means you're going to hook up with your soulmate or your twin. Because this stuff is just crazy. But if you've been alive long enough, you've seen it where 1 minute you and a certain person don't even like each other. Another time you just start liking each other or see each other. So that's still going to be the same way with a twin flame and a soulmate. You know, it's just one of them things. But that's why I try to tell people, don't be so technical with this. Because you have to let the universe do what the universe does. And most people don't. They try to control it. Because I'm a firm believer, if something was meant to be, who could stop it? Like, if twin flames are so powerful, if y'all love each other so much that you actually tracked each other, y'all tracked each other through the spans of time and ended up in the same job, sometimes working right next to each other, all kind of crazy shit that I've seen with twin flames. Crazy shit. And then if you are not getting along with your twin and you're hoping that they go on and just leave you alone, and now on your street is somebody else and you keep bumping into that person and then you and that person. But see, my soulmate's energy was just different. Like, that would have been definitely the real deal. But even when I worked at my job, I had a soulmate that worked there, and they were all the same ethnic background as my twin. But me and my soulmate that worked at that job, we got along real good. The only thing that stopped us from hooking up was she was married, and I stopped it because she was still with it. She was still ready. She was ready to go, and it was over. Me and her were always like that from day one. So what I be trying to tell people is that's how that works. And because of that reason, you may never hook up with your twin, or it may take them years. Because what has to happen is there has to be a time when both y'all could talk without all the mind games and all the stupid stuff that happened in 2014 and 2016. That would have to happen first. And just because y'all start talking, don't necessarily mean y'all gonna get past the pain or hurt, past life drama, and all kind of shit. But y'all might. That's a start. Like, that's just a start. Whereas you might see somebody else and y'all don't have none of that. Like, almost as soon as you see that person, you just want to be with them. You want to hug them. You want to touch them. Whereas with your own twin, you don't want that, because there's so much pain you got with that person. And even though you don't remember all that stuff, you feel it. Like, you know for a fact. Like, I knew when I seen my twin, I was like, what the hell is it? For she is unbelievably beautiful. I was like, why is she staring at me? But I knew I wanted nothing to do with it. Like, I wanted nothing, because I've been here long enough. I've been through all kind of crappy relationships. Just didn't want it. And then I thought it was just going to be me saying, no. And that's going on with our life. But with her, it was like, oh, no, you're not going to say no to me. Now I'm going to make you pay. So for the next 3 years, I was in hell with her. So it's good seeing my soulmate again. I don't think, me and her ever see each other, talk or whatever. But, and it's funny because that house they're in, it's something wrong with it. So it's times when they have to leave. And, like, repair people come in there. But I think they might be moving. But that's the funny thing about, if it's God's will or if it's meant to be, they'll still be moving there. But I think they were trying to move out the house many times. But they're still there. But sometimes I think it'd be best if they did move, because then I can finally get her out of my system and shit. Alright, give me a second, because some junk just happened. So that's how I think it would probably be good. Now, like I said, and then say, what if you and your soulmate ever ended up working together? Again, that's one of them things. Cause like I said, it's different. It's not 3 years ago, so it's different. Now, 3 years ago, it would have definitely been on as far as the connection. But now it's different. People are different. So you never know. And that's just divine timing, because had she been in her car, I would have never seen her today. I just happened to see her. She was walking up her driveway. I don't know why she's even at that position. I'll never know why she was even there. But oh yeah, I know they got dogs and shit. Probably the dog got away, because sometimes that dog will run. And that's another reason why she comes out. Because when she first came back, she used to come up all the time with them dogs. Then she stopped doing it. And I kind of knew why though. And I think one night I just happened to be out there. And again, like I said, the moon. And that was, I hadn't seen the moon in weeks. And then I seen the moon was out there, and I was out there taking garbage. And I happened to look up, and then it was I think it was her standing there with them two dogs. And she kind of stood there for a little bit. Then I kind of looked over there. Then she started walking up the street. So you never see her, like she never comes up no more with the dogs and stuff. So that was kind of like really, that's how I know it was divine. But you can kind of know it's coming. And sometimes if I get that feeling, if I don't see her, I'll see like one of her family or something. But there's always communication going on. And all this shit is past life stuff too. It's not just now. This shit been going on for existences upon existences. And if you ask the question, how do you deal with it? Personally, I know me. Like I'm not gonna be in no more dumbass relationships on this planet. Sorry. Like I got people I deal with for whatever reason. Um, that's it. But I would never be in a relationship where I'm gonna be, anybody's gonna like be with me. It's gotta be some level of stability there. It can't just be crazy ass dumbass shit that goes on this planet. Cause I wouldn't be happy, and I can't do that no more. So that's why I say you gotta look at where your state of mind is and what your need is and all that. Because anybody like anybody wants to have sex. That's the easiest thing to do in the world. There's so many people having sex that you don't even know are having sex, but they are having sex. But you're like you'll never know it because they're that good. But that's what I'm doing. So y'all think I'm just talking. I'm not. I'm talking about eighth house. Everything I'm telling you is going on in the eighth house. The supernatural stuff, the secrets, the sex, all that's going on in the eighth house. And like I said, people say, "Oh, tell me my natal chart." Well, your natal chart is going to be a highly Pluto, Scorpio, eighth house, 12th house type of chart. So all the stuff you're hearing, some of it is going to affect you one way or another. Now, the good news, because I don't want it to sound like I'm being pessimistic. The good news is at least you got to see the person. Like I said, I got nothing but love for my twin flame, and I honestly wish it had been different. But like I said, we were at two different points in our lives, and I'm just not that dude no more. Like I'm not gonna chase no female or no crazy shit. I'm not that dude no more. I got goals and shit. I got shit I'm doing with my life that I love my life. And I don't have time for that silly stuff that comes with relationship, worrying about somebody and all that silly stuff. Like I'm grown up now. That's like bubblegum shit, like when you're a little kid or young or something. I'm not with it no more. And this person up the street got nothing but love for her because she was always cool. Like she really wanted it. I was the one that held that one back. And even the last time we looked at each other, it was just how she looked at me. Like it was sweet because she looked at me like, you know what I'm saying? Like she knew what was up, but she just looked at me and I just looked at her and shit. And then when I came in, I did that reading. That card was her. The female on that card, the princess, looked just like her. And then the card was just telling me all this stuff like, moving on, and you got to have inner confidence in yourself. And it's like she was telling me like, I'm out of here and this is you got to get ready for it and shit. So me and her, how we related to each other was always real. It was just way more real. Whereas with my twin flame, it was just fake. Like everything was based on her. Like she was on some just evil diva type shit. Like I'm gonna make you pay. I'm gonna play mind games on you and all this shit. And I would have had to go back to how I was a long time ago to deal with her. And I don't do that no more. I don't tell people what to do. I'm not gonna be yelling at people and all that stupid shit. So with her, it's just totally different. So that's what I'm trying to tell people who are listening. When you get involved with these soulmates and twin flames and stuff, that's just how it is. But the good news is you did get to see her, and at least I got to tell her how I felt about her. So whether it shocked her or whatever, she knew. And even this one, it was cool. You know what I'm saying? There was never no beef with her. It was always cool. It was just one of them things. And as crazy as it sounds, she probably wanted to see me as well, because everything she did was perfect timing too. But this is all going on inside of you, not just your fleshly body, because that's what I'm trying to tell you. And any woman will tell you, like you see, how people will say, "Oh, I don't like him, I'm not interested." But even though they keep saying, "I don't like him, I'm not interested," they keep moving closer and closer to him or something. Or the two people that end up going out that you never thought would go out. So it's a lot of stuff going on inside of you that you're being dishonest. You're acting like it's not happening, but it is happening. And that's why I say I'm real careful with who I'm alone with or what I do, because I learned that. You think a person don't like you, will never like you, and then all of a sudden you find out they like you and shit. So you got to be careful what you say and all that shit, because it could pop up. So that was significant for me to get all that out, and I believe in divine timing. Everything happens for a reason. Keep in mind, I have not seen my soulmate in a long ass time, and even if it was a matter of months, you got to multiply that, because to me it feel like it's been almost a lifetime. But I'm gonna say it one last time. But even if, say, life brought me and my soulmate together, that don't mean it would be a connection though, for all the different reasons I just said. But it would definitely be awkward. And if somebody said, "Well, what could you do to change that?" Sometimes you can do stuff, but sometimes it's better that you don't, because some connections just ain't gonna work. Her family might not like it. It's all kind of shit. And if you ain't ready for all that drama, like I said, like a West Side Story, one of the most saddest movies I ever watched in my life. I definitely shed tears when you thought Tony was gonna be with Maria in that playground, just seconds away from getting away from all that crazy racial stuff, gang wars, and all the crazy shit. They were going to have love. It was going to be beautiful. Tony was going to be with Maria in just a few seconds. They're about to hug and embrace and get away. But then Maria's brother put them bullets in Tony and killed his ass. And then the whole time I'm crying right now. I don't have any tears, but I'm crying right now because Tony is dying, Maria's holding him, and they're telling him they're still making plans to get away from this bullshit piece of shit planet and have real love. But unfortunately, as long as you're here, you're gonna deal with the real shit, whether you like it or not. And the world sends people like me to tell you that, whether you want to hear it or not. You gotta learn how to be thankful. Like I'm thankful I got to see her. I'm thankful I got to see her. Because that was something supernatural. But I knew it was coming because I knew what I was feeling. And I did. Last time I checked the moon check, it was moon in the twins. The moon was in Gemini, the twins. So I knew it was coming. I just didn't know how. So you got to get ready for stuff like that. But you also got to know when the universe does open up your door to opportunity, don't be an asshole. Because sometimes women play hard to get. Women play a lot of games. That could be detrimental. That could be putting up walls and layers that you're blocking. So when the window of opportunity opens and you know this might be a good move, don't be afraid to go for it. And I honestly believe that when I saw my twin back in 2014, 2015, 2016, I just wasn't ready. Especially at that time. Didn't want to be in a relationship with nobody. I just wasn't ready. I've been hurt too many times. And I just love what I do. But the stuff I do now is really because of her, my twin. Because I wasn't doing stuff like this until after her. Because I started studying metaphysics and all that, trying to understand her and what had happened. So I kind of owe that to her. So this is how this twin flame stuff works. I like to make application to it. Otherwise, you're just getting a whole bunch of information and you ain't gonna do shit with it. So I like to make application so that you know that this stuff does work. It is powerful and it will work itself out. Because it may not be with my twin, it may not be with my soulmate, but eventually it will be with somebody. But all that stuff helped me get to that point. As dramatic as it was and as painful as it was, it still helped me. And when you're talking about the 12th house, the 8th house, the transformation, I'm showing you through real life how this shit I'm telling you is real. That's why it's worth it to listen and understand and not just read it and think, oh, yeah, or think it's bubblegum astrology where, just being goofy with it. You're not even taking information, just being goofy. All right. So now we still got more in the 8th house. psychics, internal plotting enemies, anxiety, mysteries, manipulators, codependency, stalking, jealousy, but real psychic ability. Like a Scorpio will know shit that they show no. Like you can't lie to no Scorpio. A Scorpio gonna know you lying. Don't. Like if somebody's sign is a Scorpio, don't lie. Even if it's only in your first house. Like I'm not looking at her chart right now. I'm looking at just what I'm reading. But if she was a sun sign Scorpio, like wherever Scorpio is in you're gonna have supernatural powers and shit. Even powers for healing and even psychic abilities in it. Whether it's a moon sign, sun sign, it don't matter. In that particular house with Scorpio, you're still gonna have it. And there's watery emotions because Scorpio is water, Pisces is water, Cancer is water. But Cancer is more like the mother, and she's the nurturer, and she's sensitivity as well. Scorpio is water, but it's very erratic, can be very psychic, very powerful. Scorpio is the most powerful zodiac sign of the 12. And then Pisces can be intuitive and sensitive and emphatic and can be somewhat idealistic. So when you're dealing with the 8th house, you could be dealing with law breaking, crime and punishment, karma. The 8th house and the 12th house are both about karma. So I think I already said this to this person. They're going to be very karmic. So they also have to be very careful because whatever they do, it's going to be a karmic response sooner or later. So you can't just think any way you want to. You got to keep your thoughts positive. And that's why we're trying to tell people like me, I know all this is going to work out. How? I don't know. But I know somebody somewhere goes into a lot of energy to keep showing you your soulmate or your twin flame, and they won't leave you alone with it. So it's either some type of master deception, or that's their way of telling you it's going to get better. Hang in there. It's going to get better. Hang in there. Don't let this world beat you. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, the valley of darkness, the valley of uncertainty, the valley of the shadow self, I will fear no evil. Like keep walking. You don't have to run. Don't have to be scared. Walk. Walk with authority. Walk in the spirit. Why? Because God, the great spirit, is with you. Facts. Universal facts. These devils try to cut all that out. They try to make you think there is no hell. There is a hell. They try to make you think you can do all this without really having God. Oh, I don't care nothing about no God. Just give me a reading. I just want to know about love. I want to know about money. I want to know about my family. I just want to know about. Can't do it that way, homie. You're lying. It's like you're paying for something, but you're only getting like a percentage of it, and that percentage you get is not going to help you. Like even when you get drugs, it feel good, but that's fucking you up. You know how many people I know dead because of drugs? But if you could resurrect them same people, most of them would do it again because they're addicted to the high. They don't care nothing about the truth. So you got to get to the point where you're addicted to the truth and leave the lie alone. Reincarnation, afterlife, past lives, psychological situations, is all coming out of Scorpio, Pluto, the 8th house. And some of this does roll over to the 12th house as well. Investigations, investigators. Holistic healing, spiritual healings, alternative medicine, internet, long distance, advanced technology, alchemy, metaphysics, sacred geometry, things that are forbidden or taboo, astrology, knowledge, hidden knowledge, aliens, higher life, other worlds, other planets, other dimensions, deception, telepathy, telekinesis, the divine womb, Halloween, the underworld, loans, banking, finance. Alright, so that is the 8th house, yo. The 12th house is very karmic. It's about endings, but in the 12th house, you're supposed to come to grips with everything in the 12th house. Most people don't, because like I said, they keep it under the carpet. This is why people keep being reborn, but they're not really changing. Like really, ideally, every life is supposed to make you a better person in those areas and stuff. But most people, they stay underground, they stay hidden, they don't want to deal with it. And like I said, these people that just keep on dumbing down everything and all that, they're not learning nothing. Because remember, your twin, in an idealistic world, your twin is supposed to help you through your present life journey if you and your twin meet in lifetime. But sometimes that doesn't happen because then they're not ready. Too much. They're hurting because of past stuff. Too much other stuff going on. But they're not. But your twin is not really supposed to be like this. Is where people got it twisted because they really think you're not here for your twin. You're here to meet whatever your natal chart is telling you. You're here for a reason. You're not just here to be with your twin and stuff because your twin may fail you or whatever. Like I just said, like my twin, at the end of the day, I got nothing but love for my twin, really do. But it just didn't happen. She wasn't ready for it. I did reach out, whatever. She wasn't ready for it or whatever. And I really didn't want all that shit anyway. But I'm still sitting here doing what I do primarily because of her. So she did what she was supposed to. She helped me in this particular mission. But that don't mean like y'all ever gonna turn on my show and see her sitting next to me. It could happen. But she's still a partner because I wouldn't even be studying this type of stuff if it wasn't for her. I was into stuff like this, but not as deep with the twin flames and all that. So that's why I say you just gotta learn how to become the water. Stop thinking everything's technical, because that's why you ain't gonna get it. You gotta learn spirit is spirit, and the spirit is gonna do what it wants to. In John chapter 3, the wind lets where it wants. Like for some reason, somebody wanted me to see her today for whatever reason. If I wasn't studied today astrologically, it would probably be a reason why today, out of all days, was the day I got to literally see her. Because that was definitely perfect timing. And for all I know, that could have been her saying goodbye, because she was kind of like walking away. Because whenever you see stuff like that, you got to wonder what, like if a bird flies away from you, that's a message. She's kind of like walking away, and then I guess she got in the car or whatever. Or maybe she was putting a dog away. But I was wondering where she was at. And I actually just waited because I just wanted to see her. And then when I didn't see her coming, I went to the kitchen real quick. And then I came back and I looked out that window again. And that's when I seen that car coming down. I said, that's her. And then I looked and I just looked. And then she kind of looked that way, you know, because I guess she was turning with the car. So she kind of looked that way. But like I said, in the old days, it was just crazy. Because any window I was at, she would be there. And like if I came outside, she'd be right there and shit. Like we had like a perfect fucking religion. I mean, we had a perfect relationship and shit. And then and the last day I seen her, when we was just there, I just stood there and looked at her and shit, and she just looked at me and shit. But I could tell what she was saying. She's just looking at me like I'm moving on and shit. And I like, yeah, I got it, I know. But I wasn't mad and shit. And then when I came in here and seen that reading, and it was the same card as her, I was like, oh shit. So I love shit like that. That's some real shit. So you gotta let the universe know, you know, because if you keep settling for fuckery, that's what the universe is gonna keep giving you. You can't keep settling for dumb shit. And like I say, in an ideal world, the universe would bring me and her together more than it already did. Like at a job or something. But we would have to both want it. And I'm not saying that would happen. Because just because we both work at the same job don't mean anything will pop off. But then it could pop off. You never know. Because both people are going to have to want it. And each person is different. Some people like games. Some people don't like games. So it is what it is. Both people would have to be there. Like if you were with the female, she would have to know, like my twin would know he don't like games. So she wouldn't try to play. She would have to stop doing that because she was a master manipulator. But that's Scorpio. She was a master mindfuck manipulating type of person and shit. And I hated that shit. So purpose of all that was to tell you about the 8th house and this whole journey, the life and all that. All right. So you are a sun sign. Scorpio. So sun sign Scorpio is a person that's not afraid to bring the dark stuff out. They're not afraid to shine light on things that are usually mysterious, secret, or hidden. And she's also a master communicator because Mercury's right there. And also, 11 degrees is a master teacher. The number 11. Now, she does have to be careful of that mouth because Mars used to rule Scorpio. Highly combative, highly intense. It could also be very, very passionate sex. But now Mars rules Aries, and this is all going on in the 1st house. So this is drama right here. The EP is 24 degrees, which means a return. And that 15 degrees on Mars means this is a The number 15 is a devil card, and that's all about being blocked into something, being blocked into a relationship, being blocked into something. Even though they don't have to be, because the chains are not tight. They could walk away if they wanted to, but they won't. But that's what Scorpio does. It keeps you into a very emotional, explosive type of relationship, and people be like, why don't they just break up? But they won't. They may separate real quick and break up. Now, when you see your number 10, which is really the Wheel of Fortune card, Jupiter energy or money or good fortune or whatever, it's 1 and 10. So that's like a turn on, turn off. Now, I'm pretty sure I did most of numerology the first time we did this. So in order to get your, and the 24 means this is, see, the East Point is like your ego. The Ascendant is how the world sees you, how you show yourself to the world. But it's the sun going over it's the sun going over the horizon at your birth. That's the Ascendant AC. The EP is the sun going over the ecliptic, but it really is like your ego. So 24 is a return. So what it looks like is both y'all, you and your twin, will have an ego problem. And remember, it doesn't have to be limited to your twin. This is where people have it mixed up. They think everything is you and your twin. Your twin is a major part of your natal chart and a major part of your life. Like I'm trying to tell you, whether they're with you or not. My Rosa is still with me. That ain't gonna change. In my kitchen, there's a wooden, like you could put it in your windowsill, whatever you want to call it. If you want to call it a statue, you can. But it's a Mexican statue. Look just like a Mexican female. Now, that is the only. Now, this house is full of little statues in the window and all kind of stuff. But that is the only statue that gives me drama. Like all the fucking time. And it'll fall out the window. It'll like fall on the floor. Like, but it's the only one. None of the other ones fall. None of, so I already know that's a twin flame message. Like you could never not tell me it's a twin flame message. Then there's a little bottle, I think tequila in there, with the name, with my twin's name on it. And this is just stuff that ends up in the house that other people bring in, but it's all twin flame messages. So she's always there. That's why I try to tell you, people on this planet, if they can't literally touch it, kiss it, have sex with it, and all this lower vibrational shit, they don't want to hear about it. But if they could just wake up, it's always there anyway. I've seen natal charts where somebody's twin actually helps them get a different girlfriend, because your twin be telling you ain't ready for me yet. Like if your twin is more mature, they're not gonna want to go through all that bullshit with you because they've already done it with somebody else. So what they will do, they'll help you get whatever. So you might, if you're a female, you might get another boyfriend or whatever. But then that boy, he's gonna cheat, he's gonna hurt you. But that's gonna make you want your twin even more. Like my friend Thomas, him and his twin, they break up, get back together, break up, get back together, break up, get back together. But this time she kind of did him dirty. Like this time she broke up with him and she got another boyfriend immediately. And then she's on her Facebook page getting all sexual with the dude and all kind of crazy shit. Now you know the guy, your twin don't want to see that shit. Or the guy that loves you, your twin don't want to see you tonguing some other dude and all that. He's pissed off. But guess what it'll do? Next time she comes around, he won't be so quick to do whatever happened to cause them to separate again. Because I know both of them. And she's like a friend of mine too. And I know she really loves that guy. I'm not saying she's innocent, but I know she kind of loves that guy. And she's going out of her way for them two to be together. But there's a lot of drama on her side that was kind of fucking him up too. Which is one of the reasons why he got up out of there. So that's why I say it's not going to be easy. None of this shit gonna be easy. And I've been on the planet long enough to know that. So even though my twin tried her best to break me and hurt me and stuff, and she did a great job, but I still knew that this is all part of the journey. Because she's got to get to the point where she stops the fuckery. She's got to get to the point where she stops being so vindictive and so childish. And I can't help her do that because I've been hurt too many times. And like I said, on my side, I have very powerful people. And these people, Like I said, they've sent people to the crazy house. They've sent people to graves, early graves. So I have to be, and this is not easy. What I do is not easy at all, because I have to be very strong for unbelievable amounts of people. And then it's a lot of lack of appreciation, lack of everything. And you got to stay strong when sometimes you want to grab somebody up and go back to what you used to be. Like, who the fuck you think you talking to? But we don't do that anymore because we're spiritual now. So that's what you got going on in this first house. You got a lot of drama. I'm not saying it's always that way and all that, but you can see it with Mars and all that. And you got to watch that tongue, because I know you could eat somebody up. That Mars conjunct Mercury. But this is a very thinking person, and everything I read for Scorpio in the 8th house, she's a master in it. She's a master in it. But now let's jump to her 8th house real quick. So if you notice, in her 8th house is Gemini. When I say they, I'm talking about the universe, the creators. When they put Gemini in the 8th house, it's because Gemini can be very immature. So they put Gemini in the 8th house to make them go deeper. So again, this person might have to go through some shit to mature them. Even relationship wise. Because some people be in a relationship and they be like, okay, I'm out. So you got to know when you mature, like that's why I'm very careful what I do. Because you got to know if you are telling somebody I like you or whatever, or if it's supposed to be a serious relationship, then you can't just jump in 1 minute and then jump out. Because no matter what that female do, she expect you to be there. And that's hard. Because some females will do your ass dirty. Like, y'all might go out, you know what I'm saying? She start flirting with other guys and shit. Now to her, oh, I'm just flirting. I'm just doing what women do. I don't mean nothing by it and blah, blah, blah. But to you like, bitch, are you out your motherfucking mind? Everybody here looking at me like I'm a sucker and shit. Like, you flirting with all these dudes right in front of me. They think I'm soft. I'm going to have to stab one of these niggas. And if I have to stab one of these, I'm going to have to beat your ass too. You're not going to have me out here looking like no sucker. So you got to be able to deal with all that. And that's one thing I learned from the Kenyan. And I'm sure y'all heard me say this before, so I'll give you the real quick version. Because the Kenyan loved to travel. So I was always going places with the Kenyan. Otherwise, I'm a little homebody. I wasn't always this way, but now in my older years, I'm like a little homebody. But the Kenyan loved to go. So I was always going New York, Atlantic City, you name it. I almost went to Kenya with her. I'm all up in Bloomington. I don't know nobody up in North Jersey. I'm all up in North Jersey with the Kenyans. Bloomington, Irvington, Washington. All because of this Kenyan. And it was one place up there that we used to go way up there and shop. Now, there was no reason to go way up there and shop because we got like Englishtown. That's right here in Monmouth County. That's the biggest place you can go. Everything's there and it's less money, but just to be with her and shit, drive all the way up to some. I can't. If I had to go there now, I wouldn't even remember where that place is. But you should drive way up to North Jersey and shit just to shop at this little place. So that's pretty much going on. And again, like I said, this is the first house, so this is people see you. But Scorpio is good because that could be the psychic. And you do got money there because you see that 10 degrees? That's Jupiter. That's the wheel of fortune. So you do have money in your first house with your gifts. And like I said, the number 11 can either be the Justice card, which is Libra energy, or the Strength card, which is Leo energy. But in your case, I'm pretty sure it's the Libra card, the Justice card, because there's your Libra right there with Pluto. So it looks good, but it's just a little immaturity with the arguing and the power struggles. So that's how I would calm my twin down, because my twin always wanted to fight. So I would say to her, I don't want to fight you. I like you and shit like that. I don't want to argue with you and shit. And like I said, could it have been better, different? It could have been, but I'm just tired. Like that's one like one thing God does. You'll say I'll never put up with that. So that's what He makes you go. That's what He makes you deal with. Like I'll never do that. So He's gonna make you do it and shit. This is what He does. So like I said, I don't mind. Like all my life has been spiritual and serving other people. My whole life since I was little, and I don't mind it at all. But I would never do that in my relationship ever. Because I think that's the one spot I'm supposed to be at where it's mutual at least, you know. So I would never be with somebody where I'm coming home and doing all this, you know, because I do that everywhere else I go. And so I'm kind of looking for somebody that can move. Like if I say let's go, they got to be like, all right. They can't be like, oh, I'm feeling down today. Oh, I need you to. I be like, nah, bitch, get up. Let's go. I'm out. See ya. So that's why I know I wouldn't be good in a relationship, because I would never do that shit. I mean, I used to do it, but it never worked out. Like, because, you know, as long as you're babying somebody, they're never going to get up. You got to teach them people to move it. Let's go. It's a whole world outside of you. Nobody really cares that you broke a nail. Let's go. So if they're not ready to move like that, there's nothing I can do. Because all that other stuff that I used to like to do, I've done it, and it's not that big to me no more. Whereas when I was younger, that was the biggest thing in the world. But now that's mediocre. I like what I do. My shit is like universal, worldwide. I'm dealing with inner dimensions. I'm all over the place. I love what I do. So once again, so that is your first house. Now, so you got two 29s in your 12th house. So that's going to be a lot of shit too. One is the degree. That's the one you got to worry about. The 29 degree. 29 degree, 57 minutes. That one you got to worry about. That's an anaretic degree or karmic degree. Now the other one is a minute. It's 8 degrees and 29 minutes. So it's not really a degree to 29. But notice how it's 8. So that 8 now can either be, see now, that's interesting. Because now that 8 in your 12th house, that could either be Leo, because you probably got a connection to a Leo. Some type of Leo on his chart. It could be moon sign Leo, sun sign Leo. It might even be ascendant Leo. But it's still justice. Now that, because that's the 8th degree, but it's with Libra. So that's the justice again. So that's interesting. So, but that also means that you and that person may go through legal shit. Or with somebody. And it also can mean that y'all might even get married by a justice of the peace. Because like the mayor, like you might get married by somebody in the legal department. Or legal justice or something. But it's definitely some type of justice there. It could also imply karmic justice or universal justice. But it's still going to be very powerful. Probably very psychic. Very transforming for both of y'all. And that Uranus means some type of upset. Something coming out of nowhere. Some type of upset. It could be a coming back together. It could be a breakup. It could be anything. Remember, and the 12th house is also the house of secrets. Might be secret love or whatever. Some type of secret being coming out unexpectedly or something. Like on Yahoo News, the couple was getting married with the bride and groom in front of the reverend. And when the groom went to read his vows to his bride-to-be, he read her text messages to all the guys she was still flirting with and probably fucking. So that's the Uranus moment in Libra. And that's the 12th house of endings, because he don't want to be with her ass no more. But it could be a good way. You know, we would have to have more information. Like I said, and I just said that, make sure y'all listen to a video I just posted. I want to make sure I read the title, so give me a second. Parent praises my female teen prodigy natal chart reading. Now I go in to that because I say what people have to understand. Because like one thing she tried to tell me, she said, well, one of those readings you did, the person is autistic, and maybe if you had did this or did that, you know, you would have known that. So y'all gotta listen to what I said. I said, oh no, I would never know nothing like that, because where I'm from, we don't even believe. And can't people that deal, I mean my people we get healed from cancer. We don't believe in that. We believe in spirit. Because the moment you start accepting what they're lying to you about, that's why you receive it. We pray against it. So I would never look at somebody's chart and know that. You know, if I see it, I would mention it, but I'm not looking for it because it's not unless you ask me. But I won't go in on anybody's chart. I don't want to speak that into anybody's life. Oh, I think in your fourth house, I think I see cancer. Like, I would never speak that shit. I don't even believe in cancer. If a doctor told me I had cancer, I'll laugh that shit out. That's why I got a great relationship with my doctor, knowing that man for 21 years. Because we work together, believe it or not. He'll tell me his prognosis, and then I'll tell him how I want to handle it and shit. And he's humble. He'll work with me. Because you're not going to have me up in no I ain't got no money for that. You ain't going to have me up in no hospital, cut me all open, all that shit, experiment on my ass. That's what Dr. Delbert Blair said. Dr. Delbert Blair said that's why they call it practice. He said, who do you think they practicing on? Yo ass. Do I look like a guinea pig to you? I might be a little chubby, but I'm not a guinea pig. I'm not an elephant. I'm a man. Y'all remember that movie? Oh. All right. So I said a lot about how this really works. Now, when you want really, really specific stuff like that, you get your mate, like your first reading of your natal chart. That's supposed to introduce you to the real world that you're in, not the matrix, but the real world where astrology still rules. Because even Dr. Delbert Blair, he said astrology is the truth. That's why they don't want you to use astrology, because you're going to wake up and know who you really are, start using your powers. He said, so they give you astronomy. He said astronomy is a joke. And then Dr. Delbert Blair said, if you're an astronomer and you're offended, he said, I apologize for offending you, but where have I lied? So you can hear Dr. Delbert Blair say that in a video that's on YouTube called Melanin Wars. Melanin Wars. And that wars is not spelled with an S, it's spelled with a Z. Melanin Wars. So whenever you need specifics about a certain house or whatever, that would be probably a different reading. That could be like an angel card reading or something. And that's why I say, same thing if you were going to church, you go to church regularly. They want you to be consistent. You go to church regularly. And as you go and be more consistent, you start to learn more. Or your spirituality may begin to increase, depending on what church you go to and what type of energy you're tapping into. So it's the same way with natal chart. It's not like you're going to get a natal chart reading and all your answers are going to be answered. It's not designed for that. It gives you a comprehensive of what's going on this chart and what the prophecy is for your life. Now you're supposed to walk that journey. Like I have one client that buys the whole year. And she saves a lot of money doing it that way. But she buys the whole year. So she's never going to be out the loop, because at least two times a month I'm telling her what's going on in her life. And I'm always sending her emails. Watch out, be careful, look at it. I just sent her an email today to tell her to watch that video. Because that's another area where people don't want to touch, is their children. But in doing that, you're actually doing more damage to your child. You would do better off to do what this person did, the person that wrote me this thank you note, because she did it the correct way. Work with the universe and your child, and therefore everybody knows it's not just you. You got the most powerfulest person in the universe helping you. So no matter what you're going through, you'll get through it. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for thou art with me. That's the correct way to do it, ladies and gentlemen. Not hiding, not lying, not being a big-ass hypocrite. Not going for bubblegum astrology, not lying about everything, not being afraid of people like me. People like me are here to help, and I'm saving life all the fucking time. Unlike a lot of people you look up to. Unlike your preachers who are molesting your kids and stuff like that. I'm actually saving life. I'm actually bringing twin flames together and helping them through. Hero, baby. Hero over here. Here, over here. Hey, oh, hero. I love my Spider-Man, Superman complex. And I only wish the world had more. I'm not saying I'm the only one. That's not what I meant. All right. So again, but you can avoid a lot of that by being honest with yourself, being strong, being honest with your strong points as well as your Because we all got it. We got strong points. We got flaws. Because you don't have to feed into the drama. That's a choice people make. And I know tons of people that can go eternity with drama. But nice stuff they won't do. Nice stuff they won't lift a penny. Nice stuff they won't lift a finger. They won't anything nice they won't do. But that drama, they can bring that drama, and non-stop drama. If they fall out for a couple of minutes, get some rest, wake back up with the drama. And then they wonder why life is what it is. And these are the type of people that I said. That's why you got that number 15 there. That's the devil. He's taking your ass to hell. That's why in the number 15 card, you got the devil look like Baphomet, and he got those other people bound to him. That's what hell is all about. So you don't need that. God is bringing this out into this realm so that you can transform your life, your twin's life, and whoever else you're dealing with. It's all about power and transformation. So this person right here is a good speaker because Mercury says she is. The number 27 is a diplomat who's a good speaker. And she's going to be really skilled in this supernatural stuff. And she's going to have supernatural gifts. And that's why I said, I think that's why your chart is done that way. Because that you can use your gifts to heal your 12th house, where Libra is. So now in your 8th house, that's your soulmate's house, and I already read everything in the 8th house. So they're trying to encourage Gemini to go deep, because Gemini don't like to go deep. Even when Gemini meets somebody, like normally they won't talk. Like just say Gemini goes to a church with a lot of people. Like he'll be like, "Hi, how are you? How are?" But he really don't want nobody going. He don't want to hear. Like if he's not really going to benefit from what you about to tell him, he don't want to hear that. So if he go, "Hey, how's your mom?" "Oh, she's not doing too good, Gemini." Oh, he don't want to hear all that. He's hoping you keep that shit brief. Because he'd rather just give you some money, say, "I'll pray," and keep it moving. Gemini don't want to go deep. So that's why the people that created your chart, the universe, they threw Gemini in your 8th house. Because it's forcing Gemini to go deep. But that means you might have to go through some shit. Because that's how people grow up. When they go through some shit. And that's why I said I stay out of relationships because I already know how crazy they can be. But if I wasn't into one, I already know if it's supposed to be a serious relationship, then that female's expecting me to go through all this bullshit, even if she's the one taking me through it. She's expecting me to say, "Well, you shouldn't just leave me just because I did something like that." And I'm like, "Yo, but you ain't understanding from the viewpoint of a man, you just totally disrespecting me and shit." Men don't have that shit. Just like a female may not want to see you hugged up with some other female, because that's kind of like making her feel a certain way. But men don't want to see that disrespectful shit. But unfortunately, it's like that. And nowadays, guys got to kind of... I mean, some guys might not be jealous. But other guys, they got to play it off. Because they're watching their female do something that they not cool with. But they got to act like it's not bothering them and shit. And then females will do shit like that and be like, "Did that bother you and shit?" Like, well, if you thought it bothered me, why the hell did you do it? See, I used to be that type of person. Because I'm ready to argue now. I'm all hurt and shit. I'm ready to put that work in. Like, why would you do it? And then ask me, like, what, you think this is funny? You think this is a joke? Like, that's how it used to be. I could bring that drama when necessary, but that's a typical Leo, though. Now I wouldn't even get into it. Like, I wouldn't even get into the whole situation if I knew I couldn't deal with it, because you're expecting somebody to be different than what. Pretty much that's how they're going to be. I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of people are like that. Because the whole thing, even with the way that I want to be sexy, all that shit, that's all about them. That's all about vanity. That's all about them. So that type of person is not going to be able to just be like, "Okay, you're going out with me tonight, so tone it down. Because if I got to punch some dude in the face because of you, then I'm going to be cussing your ass out for the whole night. You ain't going to get no sleep." But when you're dealing with somebody that loves vanity and loves all that shit, it's going to happen. So if you can't deal with that, then don't even put yourself in that situation. All right, now, so they are linking money up. Second house is ruled by Taurus. It's all about your finances, your value system, and your possessions. So right away in your second house, you got a Sagittarius, which is also about your belief system, and it's also rules your ninth house, which we will have to talk about a little bit. So you may have some type of connection to, or some type of job connection to, finances, one way or another. Because this is where your true north node is, and your true north node is 10 degrees, which again is Jupiter energy, which is finances. But Jupiter rules Sagittarius, and they both can deal with belief systems. So there's definitely some type of connection here, belief system. But see, Sagittarius can also be like a teacher. And then you got Neptune again with 8 degrees. But now I really believe, well, it could be legal again, because you may have some type of legal situation going on with your finances and maybe with your relationship in your lifetime. It may have already happened or is going to happen. Or that could be Leo energy. But for some reason, it could be Leo energy. I'm not undermining that, but the stronger energy that I'm getting is legal, legal, legal. Number 8 degrees, Pluto, probably legal. 11 degrees in Scorpio, probably legal. The Justice card, Justice card. And then the 8 degrees in Neptune, and it's looking a lot to be legal to me. So be wise not to get in any type of crazy schemes, because that's how that happens. Sometimes we get into schemes with our loved ones or somebody we're in a relationship with, or they bring the idea to us and we don't want to make them mad, so we agree to it. But that's stupid, because when them cops show up, they're not gonna care about why you did it. They just gonna lock your ass up. In the news, it was a couple. Somehow they had got all this stuff from a online department store. You know, like a big, I'm not going to say no names, but let's just say it's one of the biggest retail stores in real world. But they also have stores online. They have a store online, a website. So somehow they got all this stuff. And instead of them saying, hey, baby, we better go ahead and call the police right now and get this handled, or at least call the store up and tell the store to come pick this shit up, they thought they was going to keep it. They tried to do something sneaky with it, and they got caught. Now both of them going to jail. And see, sometimes people don't even realize that some of them crimes are federal crimes. Especially anytime anything travels across the state line or whatever, that could be a federal crime. But you're not thinking like that. You're thinking, oh, this is a so and so. I'm just gonna make up a name. This is Buffy department store online. Yeah, we got all this stuff, but you don't realize that that truck crossed all these state lines with that stuff. So now every one of those states has a right to charge you for a crime. And you're crying like, oh, this isn't fair. Yeah, it wasn't fair when you stole the shit. You know you didn't pay for it, but you tried to keep it. You know they tracked everything. So you see stuff like this happens all the time. And then when people get in trouble, they want to cry and act like, oh, this is too extreme, or I didn't mean anything. Well, you stole. So again, with Scorpio, stuff like that can happen too. So you just have to be very careful. See, because you got Neptune. Neptune is a liar. It's idealistic. It makes you think everything is all right when it's not. And this is how people make mistakes. And where your true north node is, 10 degrees of Jupiter, it also has 20 degrees, which is Pluto again. So this is how you know this is still connected to your Pluto and your 12th house, which is also about endings and reckoning. That's why the 12th house is about buildings. Like if you see Libra in the 12th house, that could be a courthouse or a jail or a prison. But how do people get caught up in stuff like that? Well, what are you seeing? You're seeing Venus, you're seeing Libra. So this is somebody that's connected to somebody, and they get caught up because maybe they love the person too much that they're not using their brain. That's one interpretation. So make sure you're using your brain. And then you have Vesta there again with Mars energy again. See what I'm saying? So sometimes you did see there's a female that was killed by her best friend and her best friend's thug boyfriend, and he had already raped her. See, that's what you're seeing here with this Mars energy, and a thug could be Scorpio. Anybody will tell you Scorpio could be dark, thugs or people with dark personalities. And you kind of see the aggression with the number 16. Like, just do it. Do it because I told you to. Don't question me. I know what I'm doing. And a lot of females, they don't want to make their boyfriend mad, or they think he's going to jack them up or something. So they go along with it. And then when the cops come, first thing he's going to do, he's going to sell your ass out for the most part. That's why I be saying females be one of these thugs, but as soon as them cops come, they go from being thugs to bitches. They're only thugs when they're doing you dirty, when they're cheating on you or beating you up or lying to you. That's when they're a thug. But when the cops come, you're going to see the bitch, and he's going to try to get you to take the blame. Oh, that was her. That was her shit. Oh, she placed that order. It was on her computer. I didn't do it. And they'll lie through his freaking teeth. Lie through his teeth. And like I said, see, me, I study everything. So I'm always looking at court stuff. I be reading the news. And online, you can see all that shit on court, the people in court and shit. And you see that a lot, where a female wanted the thug, and then he just set her ass up. He fucked her. He let his man fuck her. He fucking her girlfriends. He's using her house, using her mama, using a credit card. He's using everything. But when the cops come, he gonna go, I ain't had nothing to do with that, officer. You don't, and my fingerprints ain't on none of this. That was her computer. You can't prove I was. That's all. He a thug. But she don't realize she just want a thug until she get one. Now her ass is in jail, and she be lucky if he get locked up. And the only reason why they lock him up is because she keep on crying and saying, no, he told me. And then she realized he ain't shit, so she finally rat on his ass. So they finally lock his ass up too, but she do some time as well. Or she might be lucky and get some probation. Now I wouldn't be talking about this if I didn't see it all here. And I'm telling y'all what I'm seeing. See, what people do, they don't want to look at the information, they don't want to research it, they just want to listen to my voice. Don't listen to my voice. Study the information that's right before you. That's how you get smart. That's how, if you do it that way, you'll be doing your own natal charts. See, people that deal with me, like I heard Dame Dash say it. When you are where you're at, you actually make people strong and build them up. And Dame Dash, that's another dude I heard applauding Kanye. Because Dame Dash said Kanye is the only dude he ever helped that paid him, did something for him. Dame Dash said everybody else I ever helped, when the time came for them to do anything for me, they wouldn't do it. And I know how people are, so I know he's not lying. So that's the karma, you see. Well, his name is Kanye, so he already got karma in his name. And you hear all these people saying wonderful things about him, even though he may have made a few mistakes along the line. But I tell you, that's karma. That's how powerful karma is. That is why people like me come out and try to tell y'all what's really supposed to be going on in the universe. Not this dumbed down stuff, not this weak stuff, not this low energy, low vibrational stuff, not the lying about everything, lying about hypocrisy, double lies, and all this. Because that's going to get you burning in hell for eternity. You have to do it the way the universe is giving you. So now 1 degree, see how that's 1 degree? Now 1 degree is a magician, but the magician is known for being a liar. He speaks things in with his mouth and stuff, but it's like deception. So you got a lot of that in your second house. But then you see the number 12. See that's the 12th house, or that's the hangman, and it's about isolation. But see, the 12th house is about isolation, especially when you get locked up, because you'll be in a cell. Because you got to remember, if you really ain't a criminal and they lock your ass up, that's like the worst isolation. Because you're not gonna relate to them people around you, and most of those people around you are gonna be trying to figure out how they can exploit you, rape you, exploit you, manipulate you. These are all criminals. So that's why I tell anybody, if you're not really ready for that thug life, don't get involved with the thug. So say, how is he coming to these conclusions? Like I told you, by the numerology. And all you got to do, like if you got a search engine, none of this stuff I do is hard, believe it or not. It may sound that way. This is easy. Like once you learn something, like think of a place you go to all the time. So you know how to get there. Once you do it and stuff, this is not, none of this stuff is relatively, it's actually simple. Whoever put this together, they kept it kind of simple. It's just that you're hearing stuff that you ain't used to hearing, and you might, and you get intimidated by it. But once you see it, that's why I say sometimes I can look at a natal chart and be in the first house, and I already can tell you what's going to go on in like the ninth house or something, or the 10th or 11th house. So that's why I say don't waste so much time saying I don't understand it. What is he saying and all that? Try to learn how to just be silent, listen, take notes, look it up. Like I said, I just showed you. Right now, you could go 1 degree. Like tarot card number 1, it'll pop up. It's gonna be the Magician. Tarot card number 12, that's the Hangman. So they keep taking you back to your 12th house. So it's almost like them telling you your 12th house has to be your day of reckoning. Because both your first house and your second house keep taking you back to your 12th house. So that's that day of reckoning. And that could be anything. It could be a psychological, whatever, hospital, any building, church, prison, courthouse. So if I saw a chart like this, I would be very careful who I'm going to let in my life as my twin flame or my boyfriend or girlfriend. And then I'm going to make sure that even if I let the person, I'm just not going to do everything they say. Because your first house, second house, and third house, the implication is that it's going to be some type of legal shit that's going to blow up. And even Vesta means isolation. Wherever you see Vesta in your chart, it's telling you to slow down because this is how people burn out. But if you notice, your Vesta is in the same house that love is and all that. And Sagittarius can be belief systems and stuff like that. So this is a person that allows their love to cause them to affect their thinking, their belief system. And it's not. And Vesta can also be isolation, which is like a prison, a jail cell or a prison, because you're isolated from your family, you're isolated from your normal life. All right, Capricorn in your third house. This could be some type of career, but we already said you may have a career in the metaphysical stuff. Also, if a person has Capricorn in the third house, if they have like a job working for somebody, it may not last long. It might be a part-time job or maybe an off and on job, but it may not last that long there. But if this person is wise, they'll have their own business in their own house or something like that. And if you notice, if you go to her 6th house, which represents the home, you see Aries there. Well, when Aries is what? Your first house. And in your first house, they get your psychic skills. So even on your chart, they're advising you to have your psychic skills working from home. Now somebody named Salome wrote me. But when I see the word Salome, I think of the word Shalom. Shalom. Now, there are a lot of people who say, well, if it's on my natal chart, it must be meant to be. So I'm not going to worry about all that stuff you're talking about. I'm just going to let it happen. Well, natal chart could also be like a warning, too, because I know I ain't trying to be in jail for nobody. I don't care what the situation is. I'm tapping out. I don't need to be locked up. Just because it's on my natal chart, I'm not just going to, oh, somebody, here I am, officer. Might as well go ahead and lock me up. Save yourself some time. No, I'm saying, oh, no, no, no. So your natal chart is more like, it's everything. It's a map, it's a guide, it's a warning, it's everything. It's an advisory. So there is some maturity in the third house, which the third house can be kind of immature, but it still may not last long. Or it might be short. Or like if you had clients in your 6th house, like they may get one reading but don't get another one, it's just short. And you keep getting in 1 degree, so you got to be careful because you got a lot of like different 1 degrees. And like I said, that's Gemini energy, that's Magician energy. And you see Gemini has a strong presence on your chart. So even your soulmate or twin soul or twin flame, because they could be 2 different people, they may have like a Gemini energy or a Leo energy. And one thing Gemini and Leo have in common, they can be very youthful but they're very kind. They can be very like they're not gonna see things like a grown adult would. 4th house Aquarius, then that's a family. That's a person who their family was people around them. This could be like a moving family. This could be like a military family. Because when you see Aries in the 6th house, that could be the military. But wherever they were, that was family. And you could tell this person here, they will make a good psychic because they got the moon in Aquarius, and that's the family. So that's people and family, and she's gonna have psychic ability. So if she set up shop on say Facebook or YouTube and all that with her psychic skills, that Scorpio, that stuff we talking about, she'll do quite well. So that's why I try to tell people never, like I'm always gonna be an individual, and like believe it or not, let's just say my twin did a total 360, and all of a sudden she became the type of person I would actually be desirable. Even then, it would be harder for me to say what I'm saying because now my feelings are involved. But even then, I'm not trying to make any decisions that I wouldn't make anyway. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to make a decision based on somebody else because they could be wrong. And then I get myself in trouble. Because that's what I'm seeing on your chart. So on your chart, you're having a capacity to be a leader. And lead other people. And you had that 29 again. So how I see your chart, see that shakeup that happens in your 12th house will probably affect whatever's going on in your 4th house as well. And then you got the number 11 again. So you keep seeing that number 11. Like I said, could either be Leo, but for some reason, I still think it's Libra. I still think it's the Justice card. Because this is all going to do with your relationship, but it also might get legal as well. And that's also part of your moon. And then you got Lilith at 22 degrees. 22 degrees is the number of God's people, the number 22. But 22 is also twin flames or your couple. But again, when you have Lilith retrograde, people have to be careful because Lilith, if she feels like she's being slighted, she can be very manipulative, very vindictive, and she can be a lot like Scorpio. She's also psychic and has power. So you got all this going on in your 4th house with Aquarius. And that's supposed to be your family house and teenage, adult education, land, property, real estate. The mother is the moon, the Imom Coeli. So it might be some type of mother connection there or mother issues. And even like Lilith retrograde with the moon. Again, that could be a mother that was a little towards her children. A little maybe not so nice or just a little weird. Or maybe even doing things that say mothers shouldn't do. Because when you have the moon conjunct Lilith, especially Lilith retrograde, because that's when she's internal, she's a little bit more sneakier. But you're looking at the mother and the whore. When you got Lilith conjunct the moon, that could be the mother and the whore. That could be the witch. It could be the spiritual person, but it could also be, like I said, the whore. And sometimes you see people that generate all these personas. And it may be like manipulation from the mother. The mother's always making you feel like you ain't up to par and all that. Or your own mother might be jealous of you. Which that's a weird one, but I've seen that a lot. I've seen that a lot where your mother actually wants to see you fail or like that. And I be telling people to be careful because like I know a lot of females. I could tell y'all some stuff, but throughout my lifetime of being on this planet. But like I said, your moms might even set you up. Your moms might leave you home with her boyfriend. She might leave you alone at home with her boyfriend on purpose to set your ass up. I seen that too. Like when you see stuff like that, you gotta understand what's going on. A natal chart is showing you what's going on inside people. And sometimes you're aware of it, you just don't want to believe it because it's family. But you see this crazy shit. Like I remember, it was Joseph who was almost murdered by his own brothers. His own brothers was going to kill him. Same blood brothers, same father and everything. They said was going to kill him. So you got to be aware of all this so that you don't put yourself or your children or nothing in that harm's way. And with Aquarius, that means you're always around people, but you have to be careful because you don't know the people you're around. You know, because everybody will smile in your face and you think it's all nice, but those people might be some of the most wickedest people in the world. Like, who do you think is molesting all these children? Priests and people like associated with the priests, politicians, and all that shit. All right, I'm gonna put this on pause for a minute. That's interesting. Now I had to make a phone call and make an appointment. And I was trying to make it for the 25th. The 25th of November is an international day for the elimination of violence against women. So once again, the universe is confirming exactly what I'm talking about. And if you notice, that's how the universe has been sending me all this information lately. Because you can see it on my channels and the videos and stuff. So that's why you have to be careful. And again, like I said, if a person got locked up, believe me, in women's prison isn't too much different than a man's prison. Because from the moment you walk in, they can already tell if you're a real criminal, not a criminal, all that. And they're already seeing how they're going to manipulate you and how they're going to use you and all kind of shit. And you got anything like that, you're dealing with people that got spirits in them, and they know how to manipulate you. Like I said, a lot of people can just look at you and tell what type of person you are, what type of crime you have, and they're just looking at you. But that's because they got spirit connections and stuff, and they're psychic or whatever. So like I said, you have to be careful of all of that. Now your fifth house, see, I told you there was a Leo presence. Now your fifth house, ruled by Leo, takes you back to your 12th house. Because Pisces rules the 12th house. So wherever Pisces or Neptune is on your chart, taking you back to your 12th house. Now you know that 8 degrees with Neptune is actually the strength card, the twin flame card. The female with the lion, the divine feminine, divine masculine. But I'm still going to tell you it's still legal though. So that's only confirming more. See, these are two people that kind of get in trouble together. Or they might not do it. It might not be done together though. She could get used. But like I said, I'm here because of my twin. But me and her never sat down and worked this out. She's not my partner for doing this. But if it wasn't for her and all the drama and all of me trying to forget answers, I wouldn't be sitting here with all the stuff I do. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. But either way, you will be held accountable is what your natal chart is telling you. You will be held accountable. And so you see Jupiter again. And that's how it is when you see when the money's good and you notice your Jupiter's at 8 degrees again. So you have a lot of 8s on your chart. But why? Because your sun sign is Scorpio. That rules the 8th house. And number 8 is really the strength card. It's Leo energy, but it's the divine masculine and the divine feminine. But the number 8 is also the justice card, which is law. And a lot of times, if you're guilty of universal laws from past lives, because this is all karmic, that's why you see a lot of 29s. If you're guilty of universal law from past lives, you will find yourself in a real courthouse. That's why I said a lot of stuff with my twin, we would have meetings that would come out of nowhere. You see that Uranus on your chart? A meeting would come out of nowhere, and she would be in a meeting and all that. But that was really about me and her. That meeting had nothing to do with company or company agenda or stuff like that. That meeting had to do with whatever was going on with me and her. That was universal stuff. That's why I say some of the people you're with, some of the people you're standing around, it's actually stuff going on that you're not aware of. And they show you all this in the Matrix movie. That stuff is real. Give me one moment. I'm trying to make a phone call. Hi, this is Gary. I was calling for appointment 3 p.m. the 25th, Monday. I know. Yes, for next Monday. Thank you. Bye-bye. She always looks out for me, though. All right. She said, Gary, you are the fast. Everywhere I go, they tell me that. Gary, you are the fastest. Because where I work at, where I go shopping at, they said that to me one time. They were like, listen, the cashier's not here yet, so you have to go slow. And then the other guy said, man, he said he doesn't know the word slow. Because I get in there, I get my shit, I be out. But I'm a multitask king. I just do so much, so I don't have time to be bullshitting. And like I'm not with all this fuckery on this planet. This planet is filled with fuckery, yo. People be getting their lives destroyed and shit. I'm not with all that. I've been here long enough to tell you. Stay busy on positive stuff and leave the fuckery alone. And when people ain't got nothing better to do but standing around talking and talking and talking, I wonder why. And even my grandfather used to say that. My father was a worker too. My grandfather said that's one thing I hate. When I come to work, I'm ready to get to work, and people just standing around smoking cigarettes and talking and shit. And I also know if you forget to do shit, because this is gonna be a rough week. This whole week is gonna be rough. Cause like I said, y'all gotta understand, I'm not just work. If it was just me, everything would be organized and shit. My life would be great. But I'm helping out people that don't. They just live for fuckery. That's all they do is they thrive off of fuckery. So no matter what you set up, they're gonna fuck it up. Then you have to go set up again and shit. And it take a lot of patience because you really could kill somebody. And I'm telling y'all the truth. So it take a lot of patience. And there's always something wrong with especially with these people I'm talking about. Always. So you really don't have a whole lot of time to be goofing off or playing around. You got to keep shit moving, because no matter what you set up, when you come back, it's gonna be fucked up again. But that's this planet. That's the energy on this planet. And that's why, like I said, people got to really understand that. Because on a chart like this one, it's definitely legal. You can't get past the fact that it's legal. And I try to tell people you don't want to get into the legal system. As I just said, that's what happened to Jasmine Gonzalez. And I've reached out to her a couple of times, but she says she basically like one of my things I said to her, but she doesn't say nothing about thunder. See, people like that, she just got to be careful, because she already saw what happened last time they put her in a crazy house. So when you know you have like anxiety issues and stuff like that, don't wait till it happens. Because your ass, like I said, they threw her in one room. They threw her in one room and started taking her clothes off. So that's rape. No matter how you look at it, especially if you look as good as Jasmine, look good as fuck. So anybody you don't want nobody touching you and taking your clothes off, because that's already in their mind. They already saying they're gonna rape you. And then when she got out the crazy house, she was in some hotel somewhere, and then one of the people that worked in the hotel was being extra nice to her. So she thought the guy was just being nice to her, but then he was trying to like get really too close to her in a sexual way. So what I'm saying is, when you're aware of all this, you think twice and you move differently. But if you're not aware of all of this, you're going to keep on thinking you could do whatever you want. You're free. It's not going to happen to you. It's going to happen to somebody else. And you're going to believe all the stupid stuff that all these other people have been raped, robbed, murdered, beat to death, cut ups, thrown in a bag, whatever. You're going to get the same thing they got, because they all thought that they could do it and nothing was going to happen to them. So that's why I said don't wait till it happens. Now you want to make videos crying and telling the whole world what happened. But you already knew you had an issue with anxiety and stuff like that, so you should have been doing something about that before. You don't wait till it blows up. So the 5th house is spiritual. Basically, the 12th house, because of Pisces, Leo energy. Nurturing is there. The 3 degrees is the Empress, Venus energy. Juno is 8 degrees, but again, that's Scorpio. That's Leo. That's the strength card. So you still know that this is the same person as Libra in the 12th house. And the money is there with Jupiter. But you see the number 8 again. That energy again. And the 28 is extremities. But we already know you're dealing with extremities because they already showed you Mars, Scorpio, Aries in the 1st house, Pluto. All these can be extremes. So it might be too much. See, this is like spiritual. Like I try to tell you, spiritual sex or spiritual magic. Like when Marvin Gaye wrote Sexual Healing. See, that's the power of sex. And you see that it's nurturing. You see that it's nurturing with that asteroid. And the Empress is about making babies and stuff. And the 5th house is all about children and stuff, having fun. So this might be a person that has children or will have children in their lifetime. And again, remember, when I see the chart, I'm seeing it for the first time. So some people might say, well, you know, that did happen. That happened a long time ago. But not for me, because this is my first time seeing your chart. So I got to tell you everything that's there that I see that's there. All right. Now, when you go to the 6th house, again, this is home, family, healing, daily activities, daily duties, small children, small animals, co-workers, subordinates. But again, it still has that Aries forward motion or Aries aggression. So, and this is service from the home. Service from the home. Chiron retrograde means it's some type of thing that hasn't healed with either Aries energy or Virgo energy. Something that hasn't healed yet. And it's 20 degrees, which again is Pluto energy or the judgment or the end. Pluto can also mean transformation. But we already see that in the 1st house. Because the 1st house is ruled by Aries and you got Mars there. So it is going to be some type of Scorpio-like or Pluto-like transformation. And it comes with a lot of intensity. But that's why I say that could be anything. That could be going to jail. That could be going through court. Could be even having children can cause transformation. Or it might even be some type of physical or whatever confrontation with the lover or whoever. Now, Taurus in the 7th house. To understand the 7th house, you got to go back to the 2nd house. Because Taurus rules the 2nd house. So whatever I said about that 2nd house is pretty much going on in the 7th house. Now, Taurus can be very sensual as well. Taurus can also be very patient as well. And Taurus can worry about money as well too. And this chart is saying that could get you in trouble if you take it to extreme. Nothing wrong with worrying about money and stuff like that. But your particular chart seems like it's almost like you get yourself involved legally in dangerous territory because it may be too much concern for the finances. Your 8th house, we already read it when we started this video. 19 is the sun energy. Just so you know, in tarot cards usually go from 0 to 21. 22 would be a restart. Like when I say tarot card, I'm talking about the major arcana, which is what your natal chart is based on. Now these other numbers like 30 and up and stuff like that, it all depends on what the reading is. Like I recently looked up number 47 for that Teen Prodigy because it denoted to look it up. Because you kept seeing it. And that 47 is just like almost like a number 11. It's the master number plus is a number 2. But the main number on your chart is always the degree. The first number, the degree. And depending on what's being said and stuff like that, you may look up the second number, which is the minute. So once again, the 8th house is to make this person be a little bit more mature, so they're not ready to argue all the time. They're not ready to jump out of a situation all the time. And that the 8th house, like I said, is astrology, is what I do and stuff like that. Because again, it will help a person be a little bit more mature when they get this information. And then unfortunately in the 9th house, which is run by Sagittarius, which could be in-laws, higher education, long distance travel, some type of longer delay, higher education, people that have class, and I don't just mean class at school, but hey, that man has a lot of class. I like him. He has a lot of class. So that's the 9th house. It's also your higher self house. But now, for some reason, it takes you to your 4th house, family and education. Like I said, that's why I said this person can either been some type of teacher, or this is like an educated person. Like they've been in and out of schools for education, for learning. But now you got that Saturn retrograde in the 4th house can mean an abusive parent or step parent, because this is in family. And usually when it's Saturn, it's usually the father. But that may also be the reason why she was pushed into higher education, because of that firmness that she acquired from family. But again, like I said, I'm not saying that this is a military situation, but the fact that that's in the 9th house as well. See, that's traveling like long distance, and the family's up there. So on her chart, you can see there was traveling involved with this family. And you see the mother, because the mother's at... See, I see it again. With her, I see like her boyfriend bullying her, even getting her in trouble with the law. And on this chart, when you see the 9th house, you see a bullying father, or a father, stepfather, boyfriend, whoever, but he's bullying the family or bullying this person who requested this. And you see the mother. That's 18 degrees. That's the moon card. The moon card represents the mother. So she's kind of letting him get away with it, kind of. So by her letting him get away with it, she's actually endorsing it. Because like I said, if somebody was whipping your ass and somebody was just standing there, you'd be just as mad at that person. Because you'd be like, why didn't you call for help? Why didn't you pull him off me? Why didn't you come help me? Why didn't you call the police? So you're going to be just as mad at that person because they just standing there and watching you go through all this hell and they ain't doing shit about it. So on your natal chart, where you see that number 15, not only is it the devil card, but it's also the Saturnian energy, which is usually some type of parent or step parent or mother's boyfriend and all that. And right now on my channel, I have a video about mother's boyfriend that's abusing the daughter and all kind of stuff. I'm not saying that's the case here, but you can see it's definitely something abusive with that Saturn retrograde. And again, you should listen to the Teenage Prodigy video, especially part 2, because I talk about it. And then there's another video about a mother's boyfriend or whoever, mother's husband or what mother's husband, but he's abusing the teenage daughter or whatever, or daughters. Because like I said, this is what the universe is trying to get a grip on. Because children have been ended up missing, being put to death, being molested and put to death to keep them silent. This has been going on for a long time, and these people have been getting away with it for a very long time. And unfortunately, women too have been getting violated and raped and killed and all that. It's been going on for a long time. So the universe is trying to raise up energy of courage, such as mine, that'll deal with it. But a lot of people don't want to confront it or deal with it. And some of these people you're trying to help will act like they don't want your help. But then as soon as somebody grabs them, they're going to be going, help, help, help. But that's too late. But before the help, I'm a grown woman. I'll dress any way I want to. Don't tell me about my kids. Blah, 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 blah. But then as soon as something goes wrong, oh, blah, 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 blah. Why didn't somebody? And all of a sudden singing a different song. So I know human nature, and I know the fuckery on this planet. So God will send somebody like me that's going to tell you to your face, basically. That's what it is. And we're not trying to back down, because if I back down, more people are going to die. And I know that. Just like all the silly stuff I see out here with these charts. This is stuff you should take seriously, because all this stuff is pretty much accurate, and it'll help your life. This is not something you try to devalue or worn down or nickel and dime and all that silly stuff, because my prices are already unbelievably low. I should call myself Crazy Eddie. Now, I don't know if y'all know who Crazy Eddie is. Go to YouTube, look up a Crazy Eddie commercial. He's like, Crazy Eddie, my prices are going insane. And I used to be a garbage man in the township that he lived in. So I used to pick up at Crazy Eddie's house, like the garbage and shit. And in that township, they don't have to put their garbage on a curb. They put their garbage up in the yard or by the garage, and you just got to go get the garbage and shit and bring it to the truck. They give you a big green barrel. All right? So that's going on too. So this woman may have, and that's why you see a lot of Mars, because that Mars you see on her chart is that Saturnian energy. I'm not saying this is a military family, but he was running it. He was running it kind of like a military. The Saturn retrograde in the ninth house. So that Mars is also him. It might also be the Aries as well. But unfortunately, she should try to get away from that. Like, she shouldn't bring that Aries energy into her own home. There's a way to go about everything, so you never really have to be mean about it or intense with it. There's a way to get things done sometimes, even if you have to work a little bit harder. Now, when you go into your 10th house, there you have it. That number 24, well, that's good fortune. But that number 26, excuse me, is, like I said, God, whether it's the Bible or spiritual. But we already know she has a spiritual connection to that guy, because you keep saying the 12th house is spiritual, Pisces in the 5th house is spiritual. But that guy, her twin flame, is there through it all. And there you go. There go Leo, just like I told you. So that's a Leo connection, just like I told you. And that medium Coeli, 19 degrees, that's the sun. The sun rules Leo. So her 10th house is also working with her 2nd house. So it is going to be very lucrative. But she has to be very careful, because it could also end up like legal. They're like Jim Baker. Jim Baker was allegedly spiritual, and he was very lucrative. He was probably the highest grossing televangelist in his day. But then he ended up in jail because of it. So watch your partners and watch who you're doing business with, because Libra is also business partners and stuff. And then you see the number 14. And I always mix up the number 14 with the number 17, so I always look it up. So yeah, like I was saying, so when you hear me, when I say do research, if you got a search engine, everything I'm doing, like I'm going to go tarot card number 14. But you could do the same thing, so you could also see it. That's why I say you just can't be lazy, because people want to sit back and listen. But just because you're listening, but you're not really taking it in, you got to really take it in, study it, look this stuff up and stuff. And that's how it becomes a reality to you. And that's how you become more and more powerful. Otherwise, you're going to listen, and then you're still going to be looking externally for answers, when really you should now be going internally, because I already gave you what you needed. And you might come with an update or stuff like that, or other questions, but pretty much the other stuff you kind of should got it. That's like somebody baked a cake. You call and you order a cake, and they bake you a cake, and then you go pick the cake up, but then you're still going, hey, well, what about this? What about that? What about that? And they're looking at you like, look, just take the cake home and eat it. Why are you still asking me? The cake is made. What are you talking about? All right, so tarot card number 14 is the Temperance card, which is Sagittarius energy again. So a lot of you will definitely deal with your belief system. Pisces and Sagittarius deal with your belief system. Jupiter used to rule Pisces, but now Jupiter rules Sagittarius. So this is your belief system again. And it's not just your belief system, but you'll also be helping people with their belief system. So your belief system will be to help people with their belief system. And you will have that sun energy, that lion, that strength, that twin flame helping you. And I already told you guys, your twin flame will actually, they'll either literally be there with you, helping you, or they're still going to be with you, because your higher self, which is Sagittarius energy, your house number 9, your higher self, your twin is always with you. It's only in this world that you're going through the matrix of the deception, because people will tell you this world is like a hologram. That's why you be having all this weird stuff going on and all that supernatural stuff if you look, because you're in a freaking hologram. And it is real while you're here, but the moment you leave the hologram, it ain't real no more. Like once you leave that body, you ain't gonna be looking at this planet like you do now. That's why if you, I'm not saying any of y'all ever have Sunday, but if any of y'all ever did see a ghost or a spirit or something, that thing, it just walks into your reality and you can walk back out. I've seen, like on TV and stuff, real stuff though, like haunted houses and stuff, you'll see stuff run into our reality and run out. And I've seen it literally. I seen somebody come in our reality one time they was on fire. And they were rolling around and shit, but they would come in, roll around and go right back out to reality. And then they would come back in reality, roll around and go right back out. It was a snowstorm where I literally saw at my neighbor's house Somebody came into our reality, walked through the snow, and then disappeared. Like there was no path in and there was no path out. This thing literally appeared, walked in the snow, made left footprints, and then disappeared. Now you don't have to believe it. I don't care because I know what I saw. I don't worry about it. Now, this is how I can prove it. Where that shit happened is that same house that burnt down on January 1st. That's the only house in this neighborhood that ever burnt down on January 1st. And the people that live in that house now are metaphysical. These are the children of the Mayans. And they're the same ethnic background of my twin flame and my soulmate. So I tell you, all this stuff overlaps. These are lifetimes that overlap. And the more you realize it and the more you realize who you are, the more you know what to take for real and what to stop. Like I said, I don't deal with the fuckery no more because I'm too busy dealing with the real. And when you deal with the fuckery, that's all you're going to be hearing about is a lot of stupid ass stuff, a lot of gossip, a lot of silly stuff. Or you might see yourself in trouble with the law or something. Because that's all low vibrational fuckery, gossiping, and animalistic behavior and all that stuff. You got to tap into who you really are. And then you'll be above looking down, understanding this stuff instead of going through this nightmare that we call life on planet Earth. This hologram. All right. So now your 11th house is home. Because like I said, you'll have some business, home-related business, which will probably be spiritual and psychic. And in your 12th house, I did explain that. So again, it was a lot of information you heard. But if you're taking notes and stuff like that, you'll get it. Because it's there. We went over numerology. We showed you your twin flame. We showed you the karma. You hear me saying Saturn, which is also karmic. And if you listen to my Prodigy video, they said that when I did her second house, they said that her father was probably abusive because in a past life she may have neglected her responsibilities or she may have been abusive. Now, I'm not saying that's true or not true because I wasn't there. I just don't know. But it's good to understand this type of stuff because sometimes people just want to go through oh, why me? Oh, why me? Why me? Why did this have to happen to me? Why me? And their whole life is just blaming other people and they don't do shit with their life. You got to understand there's a good chance that maybe it happened for a reason. Not saying we justify it because any form of abuse is wrong. But you don't want to spend your whole life going, oh, why my daddy beat me up? Why my daddy threw me across the table? Why my daddy dead? Obviously, if God allowed you to go through that experience, it's for a reason, whether you like it or not. But you can't waste your whole life going by with something. I would never let somebody else's mistakes rule what I do. Whatever I do, I did it. I've never stood nowhere and said, oh, that was somebody else's. Oh, I did that because somebody. No, I always held myself responsible for whatever I did, even if other people wasn't involved. Because I even had people tell me, wow, what you've been through. You sitting here, I would have to say, those people had something to do with that too. I'm like, well, I don't care. I did it. I shouldn't have did it. I should have thought twice. Now I know not to trust people, whatever. Whatever I do, whatever I learn from that experience. Because like I said, what do you say? Whatever. Fool me once. Or fool me twice. So I don't go for that fool me twice and 3 times shit. Alright. So that is this reading. And again, like I said, you'll hear me say it in that video about the parent who praised my reading for her daughter, her prodigy daughter. You're not going to get everything in one reading. It could never be done. We will be here forever. But that's up to you to take it forward. And I always said, now listen, so people can understand. Because a lot of times I'm talking, people ain't listening. Once you have your natal chart done by an expert like me, you could go wherever you like because now you got the product. This is the real deal. And very few people are doing it. They give you shortcuts and all that. They might give you a good reading, but it's not accurate. It's not true. It's not going to be your life. It's only going to be some of that shit. I talk about that real stuff. You hear what I talk about. So that's the expert. But once you have it, now you can go back to it. You could get a reading. She might go, oh, I see a Venus. Or she might do a card reading, and she goes, oh, I see a Venus. So then you go right where Venus is on your chart. Uh-oh, second house. Venus is there. And when you talk about Venus, Venus is also finance and love and stuff. You check that out too. So I'll say this one more time. Whenever I do your natal chart, it's your entire life while you're on this planet. And it may be some past life stuff here as well. And yeah, that's interesting because that prodigy had one retrograde, which was Saturn retrograde. And I don't think she had any other retrograde. None of her asteroids were retrograde. Now this one has a couple of asteroids that are retrograde. And then your true north node, your true north node should always be aura. If you have a true north node with no aura, that means that's going to be some type of problematic situation. So yours doesn't have an aura either, but we did cover your second house. Because it just seems like you get yourself in trouble listening to your partner. But again, it's going to be problematic, and even with the judgment, again, it's indicating court. So that could either be legal, or that could be court, or it may have already happened. And sometimes when people are older, they actually forget. Because I had somebody tell me that one time. Oh, I have a happy marriage. You know, I have a happy marriage. I don't know why you said that. I have a happy marriage. Me and my husband get along well. So I said to myself, hold up. How you going to tell me the marriage is happy when you got me doing a reading about you and your boyfriend, not your husband? So how you going to tell me the marriage is happy? So I know that's not true. So I'm not going to back down because I know this person is just looking for argument. So I said, hold up. I said, you can't just say you got a happy marriage. I said, maybe now. I said, but earlier, it's obviously, you could see it on the chart, and even you yourself said it when you first contacted me. So then she backed down and said, oh yeah, you're right. We were separated, but that was a while ago. All right, well then I knew what I was talking about. So that's what's up with this. But again, if you go to church, if church is your spirituality, you go more regularly. You should be looking the scriptures up, taking notes. That's how you get it. So when you get a reading, it's the same thing. The prices are already low. You know what I'm saying? And when you have the price list, you can compare and whatever. And I'm always doing some type of sale or discount. So don't do the dumb stuff. Don't do the low vibrational. Because the truth of the matter is, if you went to some other body, like Dr. Stanley is not going to touch your natal chart for less than $200. And she don't do none of the stuff I do. So that's what I try to say. So don't be silly. Wherever you go, whatever service you got, you're going to pay for something. Wherever you go. That's common sense. But if you do what I do, once you have it, now, if you go to get a natal chart, like they say, oh, the cards that come out. Try to find out what the astrological signs are on those cards. Because really, any really good tarot card reader should be telling you that. But they don't. Why? Because sometimes they forget themselves. And then sometimes it takes up too much time and they're making a whole lot of money. Because this is like a lot. I'm not saying all of them are bubblegum astrology. But a lot of them are bubblegum astrology. And then they're not really worrying about you as much as they are as getting as much money as they can. So they don't have time to sit here and go, oh, this card is this card is this sign and this card is that sign, because it's taking too much time. They're trying to give you a quick read, usually within 15 minutes or whatever, so that they can get on to the next person, make more money. But that's what you want to know. You want that astrologer or a tarot card reader that's telling you what signs those cards are. And I pretty much know what the signs are. I just don't deal with tarot cards too much. But I know what the signs are, and if I didn't know, I know how to look them up and find it. So I always give you the full thing. You got to know them astrological signs. And you got to know where they're at on your natal chart. Then if you get an Archangel card reading, that's all they do is tell you astrological signs. So that's how you know, and that's how you keep up. And that's how you get better clarity. So this is really, it's never going to be for people that are really serious about this, this will never be a one-hit wonder. But, you know, I can only do what I can do. If they only want one thing, that's all they're going to get. Is one thing, because that's what they wanted. And that's cool if they can do that. But if you really wanted to find out what's going on, this is going to be a progression where you're growing. And if you really get good, you'll be doing it yourself. Because I got a lot of my clients are readers now. And they got clients too. They're making money as well. So that's the way to do it. But this is the conclusion of this video. Remember, I got a lot of sales going on right now. If you're interested in that thing that's going to happen with Jupiter, the Moon, and Venus between the 24th to 27th, because I really believe that's why I saw my soulmate today. And when I first got hit with this twin flame stuff, that's what it was. It was in January of 2009. but it was the same thing. It was a triangle between the moon, and I think the moon was crescent, just like this one. So you might want to know more about that. Look it up. This is going to be a very active week for me, but I definitely will get it done if people want it done. So that does conclude this particular read. Like I said, make sure you have the most recent price list. Also, I have videos on the channel itself that answer a lot of questions, but you can still request a price list. And again, I'm going to say this. I'll never stop saying this. Make sure you have your birth natal chart done by a person like me. You see how it gets done. Make sure, because that is going to be your blueprint for this life. And any other reading you get is going to take you back to astrology, which will be on your natal chart. So that's how you'll have this information. This information, THIS information. This is Gat. I'm out.